I'm back. I know it's been a hot minute. It's been a so sorry about that, but I have some stuff in store. Here's a flower for you. I'm just gonna be sitting here talking, you know, that's kind of been my thing on here. I'm just gonna share a few things that I have picked up along the way and have impacted me, and other things that I just want to share, other thoughts and advice and whatnot. I journaled and thought of ideas and stuff that I wanted to write. I am making this YouTube video on my phone. So what matters most is not the aesthetics. I mean, y'all gonna see this beautiful view nonetheless, but the messages that I want to share. Anyways, that concludes everything. So, first things first, most people are disconnected from reality and don't realize it. One thing I started noticing is that a lot of people actually aren't living in reality. They're living in the idea of who they think they are. People convince themselves, I'm a good person, I move with good intentions, I'm disciplined, I'm this type of person. But when you look at their actions, it doesn't match up, does it? And that's where the disconnect is. Because people judge themselves based off of intention. Because people judge themselves based off of the intention, but the world experiences them based off of the action. And these are clearly two completely separate things. So someone can intend to be respectful and still be disrespectful, obviously. Someone can intend to work hard and still be lazy. Someone can intend to be disciplined and still avoid doing what's necessary. But because the intention feels real to them, they convince themselves that that's who they are. So they live in this version of themselves that doesn't actually exist. At some point, you'll have to ask yourself, where in my life do I think I'm one way, but my actions prove something else? Where do I say I want something, but I'm not moving like someone who does? Because intention without alignment is just illusion. And I think that's why people tend to feel stuck. Not because they don't want more, but because they aren't completely honest about where they really are in life and where they really are with themselves, right? Because there's two different versions. There's one in your head, and then there's one that your actions prove. Unless those two align, nothing really changes. And that's where awareness comes in. Because once you separate intention from action, you can see clearly. Or you can see the situation clearly, right? You stop lying to yourself. You stop hiding behind your potential. You stop confusing who you want to be with who you actually are. And that's uncomfortable. But that's where growth starts. Okay. A lot of the behaviors that disrupt people's lives aren't random. They're patterns. And a lot of the patterns are learned patterns. Things like pride, envy, greed, slothfulness, lust, and gluttony. We're gonna talk about those. If you pay attention, you can see them show up in your life, in people's everyday life, and even in my own. The thing is, you don't just have one, you go through phases, and you could have multiple or all of them at once sometimes, depending on the person. It doesn't just stay contained either. So you recognize one of these patterns in your life, it spreads to everything, and you might not see it, but if you pay close attention to your life and the patterns that you have, it spreads to everything. It's like poison. These things are super destructive. So, for example, if you let laziness in, it won't just affect one area. It shows up in your habits, your work, and your discipline. If you let your ego take over, it affects how you talk to people, how you handle conflict, and how you see yourself. If you let envy in, it changes your energy, focus, and relationships. If you want to catch and change these things about yourself, which I highly, highly suggest, you have to be present enough to notice it while it's happening, not after. Most people think that they're in the present when they're really not, because they react, they're in their head, or they're running patterns. You have a choice to keep feeding it or to interrupt it. But that's where real control comes from. It's not from avoiding, but from recognizing before it destructs everything. Because trust me, it will. Most of what you need to know about someone, it isn't what they say, it's how they move, it's in their tone and in their body language. There's always a gap between what someone presents and what they actually feel. And if you pay attention for long enough, it always creeps out. Next one. A lot of people ask me, well, how did you get your sponsors? How did you start making money? Or what did you start doing? What were your tactics when you first started? And this is the biggest thing, because whenever I was first starting, and for a very long time, these sponsors never meant anything to me. That was not my goal. My goal is nothing materialistic. It was all about inspiring and motivating other people. That was my number one goal, okay? And the good things came along. And I believe that's how I have so much fulfillment, is because my driving factor is not things that come from the world. My driving factor is not, and that's why it's constant. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still pushing. That's why I'm still doing what I do and doing what I love. It's because it comes from a place of, love, passion. But in the process, I'm just pushing content out. Like, it's not me having to think of, what do I have to post today? It came to mind, and things came to mind, and I just would post them. And obviously, follow a trend here and there, and like the sounds and whatnot. But what it really came down to was authenticity. And you see, a lot of people talk about that not nowadays, but they're not really being honest with themselves, and they're not really being truly authentic to themselves and to show to other people. Another one of the core values that I really had with posting was to, again, be authentic, be honest, and bring something real. So whenever it came to my sponsors, and because I was slowly growing, I made sure my core values aligned with the brand. And yes, I did get a lot of big proposals, a lot of money offers, way more than certain offers that I have now. But am I gonna take it? No, because obviously what do I want to bring? So that has to connect, or else I'm fake, or else I'm the majority of the industry. Is you gotta make money somehow. No, I don't care. I could be broke. I literally was broke for a lot of periods, and especially whenever I was first starting out, and I joined with a sponsor that I was not making a lot of money with, but I resonated with the brand, I resonated with the community, I resonated with their core morals and values, and that's what mattered to me more than anything. And so, joining Civil, or having these experiences that I've had, it all came from passion and it aligning with myself. It came along the way. It was never my drive and my focus. And I see that's how it has to be, because life will pass you by regardless. And when you sit here and you're doing what you love and what you're passionate about, things will come along the way. You know that. You're in the present with yourself. You're not worrying. You're not doubting. You're not constantly plotting and scheming and planning what you need to do to make money, and how to get these offers, and how to appeal to this and this so that you can get sponsors and how to live this life. No. That's not what it's all about. And certainly not what it's been all about for me. You don't want to be rushing anything. If there's something that you want, all you have to do is just be you. All you have to do is literally just be you. It all lines up in the end. And when you're not you, and you're pretending to be this person, and you're putting this persona on, this mask on for everyone else, you'll run into that. And you'll notice a lot of those times those people will quit. Those people will switch up and do all sorts of stuff and do all sorts of sponsors. And I'm not judging anyone for doing that. But yeah. I don't know. Hi.
Sounds gross, sorry.
It's okay, no worries.
Oh,
What's his name?
got to go in the water. I just fell off.
Cute.
Yeah. Nice morning, huh?
Yeah, it's super nice. I love the
Oh
fog.
my god, Philip. Oh my god, that's so scary. He does this. He loves like going right up along the edge. And I feel like he doesn't even realize that there's like a drop.
Oh, really? Yeah, probably.
I don't
That was such a cute doggy. You'll start to realize that a lot of what people say to you isn't actually about you. It's about them. Ding, ding. People project constantly. If they lack discipline, they'll call you obsessive. If they're inconsistent, they'll question your consistency. Not because it's true, but because you reflect something that they have not faced. And if you're not aware of that, you just start adjusting to fit other people's limitations. Next one. This is something that I'm not even the best at, and I still have to remind myself day to day. But it's so incredibly important to set time away for yourself throughout every day. It doesn't matter how busy you are. I do not care. Like, you work a 12-hour shift and whatever. You can set 10 minutes of that time. 10 minutes. Or even less. 5 minutes if you don't have it. Or more if you can. To sit down, get yourself a journal, and write. And a lot of people, whenever I tell them that, they're like, well, I don't know what to write. Like, I don't know. Every time I sit down and click my pen and I'm ready to start journaling, it just, brain goes. And this is my best advice. You could journal about your day. You could journal about an experience that you had. Take a second to think. Go to some place. Doesn't have to be a place like this, any place. And sit there. Look back on specific times, interactions, experiences, whatever, to where whenever you have lost your patience or you've lost control of your emotions, it affected you in this specific sort of way. List could go on. In your habits and toxic traits that you can recognize and pick up about yourself. Write about those things. And then when you're looking at them on a piece of paper, start to question them. Start to question those things. You've already acknowledged it. You've recognized it in your head. So then whenever it comes to the situation, you can approach the situation, be in the present moment, and then re-implement. And even if you make the mistake or if you revert back to the habit that you've been in, the cycle that you've been in, you can always re-implement. You can stop yourself and then re-implement and change it. It's not too late, even whenever you do it, but I mean, obviously the goal is to be able to change it before it happens. Then you can just roll with it, but that's not always how it goes, because growth is not linear. Growth is gonna be like this. It's not gonna be like this, okay? It might even look like that. Yeah, so a lot of the time, we do not set that time for ourselves because we don't even look at ourselves like a person, really. We don't look at ourselves like another person to love, take care of. We look at ourselves like pieces of the constant negative thoughts, the constant, you're ugly, you're fat, you're disgusting, you're this, you're that. You're literally always putting yourself down. You're constantly repeating and reverting back to these cycles that you've learned growing up, and you're just subconsciously doing all these things without realizing it, and in the process you're just making it even worse for yourself, like continuing to say negative things about yourself or do negative things for yourself, or not choose to change habits because they're comfortable. I've said this in the past video before, but you need to treat yourself like your own friend, like someone to love, like someone to take care of, to analyze. Learn to set the time apart for yourself. Give yourself the time of day. You can't even give yourself 10 minutes. Think about it as if you were your own partner, okay? You can't even give them 10 minutes. Come on, we could do better than this. Give yourself the time of day. Learn yourself and learn that self that has been hurt and that has been, collected all of this data from everybody else and these cycles and these patterns and these traits and characteristics. Recognize it all. So then you know yourself better, and then you can change it. You can be active, and then you can change it. Another thing, In the gym, failure is the goal, right? Pushing until you can't, chasing the last rep. You're constantly breaking yourself down to grow again, right? Because that's how growth works. Funny, right? Outside the gym is another story. People avoid failure completely. Why do we accept failure in just one area of our life, but then fear it everywhere else? You can really ask yourself, because that doesn't make any sense, does it? For example, think about why you could have this approach. I talked about this in my last video. The gym teaches you that failure isn't the end, it's just feedback. Think about why that's the approach that you have to fear when it comes to other areas of your life. Think back to, for example, how your parents treated you whenever you got bad grades. Let me guess. They told you you were a failure, or they told you never have this happen again. You're grounded. I'm taking away everything. That teaches you, especially as a kid, to fear and avoid failure. And even though it might seem not that big of a deal, but it really is. Everything is a big deal. Everything is much, much deeper than it seems. Always. Yeah, that'll change your whole trajectory of life. Not only that instance, but in other instances too. Most people do fear failure and have that negative approach to failure. So what do you think that's going to do whenever it comes to your life and things that you want or goals that you want to accomplish, right? You fear failure, but you don't look at it. It's the change in perspectives. And I talked about in my last video that the key to life is having many, many, many different perspectives. You want to have as many perspectives as you quite possibly can. When people ask me, what do you you just go to the gym to look good? No, I really don't, because it's I've talked about this, but it's an internal building system for me. That's surface level, and that shows me that you're surface level. I know how you're thinking. You get what I'm saying, and that's how I've kind of viewed people. It's like from based off of their responses, it really tells me about the way that they are thinking. And again, with projection, almost everything is projection, because even what someone is saying, they could be literally telling you how they perceive this. They might go to the gym to look good. They might go to the gym for reasons along that level. The gym, it's discipline, it's structure, it's doing something hard every day even when you don't want to do it. And that sets up everything in my life, right? Just whenever I was a gymnast, it's that same exact thing. It's like a seed. You plant a seed in your life, it's going to spread everywhere. I love failure. I'm chasing failure. I'm chasing to work hard. I'm showing up like that in my everyday life. Makes sense? So that's another thing that's very important. Stop avoiding discomfort and start asking yourself things. And stop immediately reacting to emotion, to ego, to fear. Just watch it pass by. Recognize it, question it, and change it. Re-implement with what you want, with what's positive, with what's going to bring your life and affect your life in a positive way. Most people are controlled by the things that they never take the time to understand. The moment that you do, you stop being controlled. I had many other thoughts with this video, and this does not conclude the thoughts in my brain, because honestly it's like a bottomless pit at this point. There might not be that much humor in this video, but that's okay. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I am hopefully going to make more little videos like this, to where I'm just sharing things and with a beautiful view. I hope you all have a blessed day. Take a little bit of time in your day today to give that to yourself. And, push yourself, challenge yourself, do things that you wouldn't normally do. In all the process of that, stay aware, stay in the present, and observe. Because it'll really help you out in life. It'll really help you in situations and choosing your circle and the people around you. Also helping them in the process. This will do many, many things for you and help you understand everything that's going on outside of you and inside of you. You don't know how much your support has meant to me. Thank you for 10,000 followers. Oh my gosh. I don't understand, because I haven't been posting or been consistent, but somehow I gained like 6,000 of you. So I'm really excited, and hopefully I'll have a video out here soon. I'm gonna make it a point to maybe try and film at least one per week and not stress myself out too much with these projects. I can do smaller ones and get those done and still work on and chip away at the bigger projects. And we're about to go down this cliff and jump in. No, I'm kidding. But we're about to go down this cliff and venture around. The annoying thing about making these videos is that I feel like I run on a lot. I feel like I can over-explain a lot, and then I lose my train of thought, and then I'm just carrying on throughout this video, and then I don't know where to stop, and then I keep having ideas, but then I feel like I never finished the last idea, the last thought. Guys, this does not look real. Look at that.